Yeah, you now rocking with the most poppin' Knicks YouTube channel on the net. I am the objective fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest. And you know the vibes, y'all. Man, I got a little pre-recorded episode I want to drop for you guys. Sorry I didn't drop the pod on Monday. Son was under the weather. And today is his birthday. So if you could wish my son a happy birthday, he's turning 2. I would appreciate it. Definitely show your love and support in the comments. So I wasn't going to, once again, like I did last week, every time things don't go according to plan, I'm still going to drop something. So I said, you know what? Tuesday, I will drop a pre-recorded episode of the pod. So, and this will be episode 12. There's a couple of things we missed. I might want to touch on some things from previous weeks. I do want to give an off-the-top shout-out or salute to Deuce McBride for hitting that shot to help send the kid to school and basically get a scholarship, right? So I want to salute the Deuce McBride for that. That was big. We missed out on that. A couple of topics we missed out on. But as you can see on the screen, we definitely will be talking about the Julius Randle saga. I know some of you guys are going to see the thumbnail and be like, what are you talking about? What are you trying to stir up? First off, this is level-headed Knicks talk. And I was one of the few guys on Twitter that was like, hey, yo, we got to pump the brakes. And we're going to go to X and look at my account, my page. There's a couple of things I want you guys to check out. We're definitely going to go to Twitter today. We're definitely going to talk about 2Ks in the Knicks ratings and things of that nature. Some of the stuff that we got up there is a little old, like RJ Barrett. He spoke about what his impact was in New York. I might highlight that. But definitely we'll talk about the Roommates podcast and their live show, right? A salute to the Roommates podcast for sure. Definitely been showing a lot of love to both of those guys on Twitter and even Matt too, Matt Hillman as well. But we'll get to that. I'll show you my ex. We'll also talk about a couple of other topics I have here. Maybe we'll talk about one of the holes that they say the Knicks have to fix. So definitely, and we're going to talk about Word on the Street, of course. Definitely going to talk about Word on the Street. MSG app, yes. MSG and yes, they kind of came together to try to bring all the sports teams together in terms of all of the teams that's under the two networks. But Word on the Street and more, of course, this is the podcast now. Being that this is the pre-recorded podcast, right? This Week Inside the New York Knicks is a podcast that's dedicated to documenting the Knicks 365, 7 days a week. If you give me 50 minutes, I'm going to give you the Knicks, all right? And that's what this pod is. I'm up late night recording. I'm a vampire. And I definitely want to get to it. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into research mode early, right? Oh, but before I jump into research mode, definitely, as you can see on the bottom corner of the screen right next to me, I have a barcode inviting you to join the Knicks Take Madness Discord server and take advantage of the free Knick hat giveaway. Also, the Discord server is not just about the free hat giveaway. It's also a nice interactive chat. We have a 24/7 Knicks chat where we talk Knicks 24/7. You get to talk with me. I'm always posting things in there. Salute to my man, Coach. Salute to my man, Sam, also in the building. Definitely join the Discord server. Also, we have a 24/7 NBA chat as well. So, and I will be adding more things to the Discord server as it grows. But I just want to start off by saying that I have a couple of more special announcements I don't want to let out the bag just yet. Oh, another thing too, be on the lookout for the premiere or the actual scheduling of Level-Headed Knicks Talk. I more than likely will do it on the Thursday afternoon. I might have to switch it to Wednesday. I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you guys posted. Just check out the community post, and you can check out the scheduled shows on the channel. But if you're subscribed, you're going to get all the notifications. So definitely, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, right? And don't forget to hit that like button as well. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into research mode because I'm not going to keep you guys too long on this one. We will stick within that 50-minute window. So first thing I want to give a salute to Stephon Marbury, right? Kings County in the house, indeed, right? Coney Island stand up. Now, Steph, he was on Scoop B. He was definitely making his moves and his rounds. He was on a lot of different platforms. He was on Scoop B talking about a whole variety of topics. Definitely go to Scoop B and read the article. It was definitely a really good read. And he was talking about a couple of different things. One of the things he talked about was Jalen Brunson, right? And as you can see on the screen, I got the quote. He says, first of all, let me make something clear. Jalen didn't pass up anything with the Knicks, right? Jalen won big time, showing his commitment, his leadership towards having the desire to bring more players, to open up the portal for more players to come through who want to be a part of the system that they're building. So I'm going to stop right there. First off, salute to Marbury, man, right? These are some of the things I was saying. And other players who didn't see the vision, left the team or whatever, that's their desires and their wishes, and we all wish them well. But Marbury is hinting towards a couple of things that I tried to, point out when I said that when you sign in New York, it's a big deal, guys. This is a big deal. This is not like winning a championship in a small market, right? You have an opportunity to win a championship in New York is going to be magnetized. And that's what he's trying to say with JB's sacrifice, which is the greatest sacrifice in NBA history, right? So to bring in more players, to open up the portal for more players to come through who want to be a part of the system that they're building so they can win a championship, right? Him doing that, if I'm in a company in New York City and I'm looking at what he just did, I am knocking on his door to see if I can work with him. Pause there, right? So this is what I also was saying before. I was telling people that when you win in New York, right? A lot of businesses and endorsements become available. That's what Marbury's talking about. The New York market is an advantage. And when we talk about Dolan in a second, I think I'm gonna give a little highlight to Dolan, his fight against the NBA owners, what that's about, and the NBA itself, actually. But New York City comes with its own unique advantage. Okay? It comes with its own unique advantage. That's what Marbury's trying to point out, right? This selfless act has actually propelled him and has put him in a situation, from my perspective, I put him in a space of his own because everyone knows that New York usually overplays players from different perspectives. Now you have a guy who people feel like is given the short end of the stick, which I'm not going to say he was given the short end of the stick. I disagree with that. $59 million. And Jalen Brunson also commented on that. He said, listen, his father played 9 years, or was it 9 years or 8 years on nine non-guaranteed contracts in 8 years, right? So, or 8 non-guaranteed contracts. I can't remember. Either way, his father was in situations where his money wasn't guaranteed. So Brunson, on one of the roommates' podcasts, he explained how he don't feel like he lost any money because you have to take the money that's right there in front of you. That's basically what's guaranteed. You take what's guaranteed because tomorrow is not promised today. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that was the theme of his message. So when you say he's giving the short end of the stick, I disagree, because to really bring what Marbury said previously to light, I do think that when he gets especially if they win a championship, when he gets to his 10-year veteran extension, I think they're going to unload the Brinks truck from him for him. And I think he's going to get upwards to $400 million, right? It's going to be a whole different salary cap in terms of, the money will be a lot higher. Remember, it's adding 10% per year. So more growth in the next 3 years. I think he's going to get paid alongside of everything that comes with being a star in New York, right? So I disagree with the short end of the stick. But then they won't see it now. They'll see it later because they won't see the work you put in before you get on the court. They only see the results. So I think the move is brilliant. I think it was calculated. Facts. Salute to Marbury. I agree with Marbury on that one, that point of view. I'm going to move a little faster. Let me see where I want to go next. So I have another article here from Bleacher Report, basically talking about teams' contracts and players' situations or salaries that teams will regret the most, right? So it starts with the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young, right? I'm going to scroll down to the Knicks because this is a Knicks show, right? And I'm giving you the Knicks in 50 minutes. These are some of the things that took place within the past week But like I said, we'll be covering a little bit more than we normally do because we missed some times. Basically, some news stories from August up until this past week, leading up to September 8th, right? So we're getting close to New York. So New York Knicks, and I didn't ask this poll, at least I don't think so. I check word on the street, but they have OG Anunoby down with his $212.5 million 5-year player option contract. They're saying that the Knicks have a potential regret level of 7 out of 10, right? The Knicks may move Julius Randle, but his contract's too short to be regrettable. So Anunoby's an exit fit on the team, but his number came higher than what people expected. Now, let me say this. I don't think that OG Anunoby's contract is overpriced right now because I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We know that with OG Anunoby on the floor, whether it was the historic plus minus numbers he was putting up before he got injured, whether it was the fact that the Knicks have a 26-6 record with that man starting in the lineup. Mind you, the 26-6 record includes the playoffs and the fact that Randle and some other guys were out. So we're not even talking about OG healthy with the entire team there. We're talking about OG with a partial roster and what his impact on the floor is. Now, if you guys watch Level-Headed Knicks Talk, definitely go check out last episode. It was one of the best Level-Headed Knicks Talk episodes I think I ever did. And I did a breakdown as to why I expect OG Anunoby or Mitchell Robinson to perform and play over 65 games. So I think that if he can give you from 50 to 65 games, mind you, he's only had 2 seasons where he's been under a certain amount of games. I think it was under 50 games. He's only had 2 seasons. So in saying that, I think that OG Anunoby, if he can give me 3 out of the 5 years where he's actually, playing 65 games, maybe getting one of those defensive team awards, maybe even defensive player of the year. I'm not even going to say that's out of the question. But I do think that OG Anunoby, his contract, when we look at it, especially in the next 3 years, when you start seeing these guys sign $70 million deals, that $36 million will be half of that, or even the number goes up, even if it goes up to, I think the highest on this deal is like 40-something million dollars. That's going to look like baby money, especially 5 years from now. So I don't think that his contract will be seen as an overpay. I'm going to jump into NBA 2K. Now, the Knicks are not among the elite in the game. I mean, technically, salute to old media trying to hold it, right? New York media, especially, right? But I disagree. I think 2K ratings are pretty fair. I think the only player realistically whose ratings are not fair is Julius Randle, right? I think Julius Randle is high, should be higher than what he's ranked at. Let me see if they got it listed here. I do got it in my notes. Julius Randle has a rating of 85, and he's the 48th best player in the game, right? I think his rating, to me, honestly, is the most probably disrespectful. Now, when you look at it right here on the screen, you see that Miles McBride managed to get a 79. How is that any slight, right? Mikal Bridges at 84, Josh Hart 82, and Dante DiVincenzo 80. I think Mitchell Robinson too maybe could be higher, but you got to remember, guys, these guys were hurt. So the good thing about the video game is that you're given an opportunity to improve your ratings, especially as these guys perform during the season. So I think as long as the Knicks perform during the season, I don't really see a big deal with the 2K ratings. Of course, Jalen Brunson, he had, I believe it was a 93 rating, and he was 14th in the game. So yeah, right here, he's top 15 player in the game. Could it have been higher? Possibly, but I do think Jalen Brunson will get the time to shine. Right, we have the historic amount of national TV games this upcoming season. Right, I believe it's 34 games. So he's going to have the opportunity to show what he's working with. Let me move to the next. So I do want to touch on this right quick. Here's another interesting article, 2024 Power Rankings. By the way, as I'm going through the topics, I will get to the flagship topic definitely later on in the show. Right now, I'm jumping through some of the topics that caught my eye within the week. Remember, we're documenting Knicks history, so I'm going to touch on a couple of things really quickly. Now, salute to the Daily News once again, right? The New York media has been holding us down. However, and like I said, respect to the power rankings, right? I don't want to add like just hating on people's perspectives, but at the same time, I have a problem with how they do their whole process. Let me explain what I mean by that, right? So I'm pretty sure I don't remember looking at Daily News power rankings last year. Now, last year on this podcast, we were using the ESPN power rankings, and I probably will go back to it. But now I'm gonna make note of the Daily News power rankings. Let me write that down. I'm gonna make note of that because I want to see how they're gonna rank us going forward. So this seventh place that you see, and let me get my head out the way. I'm pretty sure it's a follow up from last year's rankings. And some of the reasons why they say that the Knicks are a 7, they have one of the deepest rosters in basketball, right? Howard, they're then at center. And maybe they're utilizing the absence of Isaiah Hartenstein as a way to sort of like weigh that in our rankings, right? Julius Randle's future is uncertain. But however, after finishing second seed in the East, the franchise first 51 season since 2014, salute to that, right? And the Knicks remain poised to building a team. So we're gonna monitor these power rankings. I'm gonna say this, right? I understand power rankings is different from a championship betting, like odds, who are the best teams in terms of having the opportunity to win a championship. I get that, right? Not trying to make it the same. However, I do think that you have to weigh the fact that some of these teams may have regressed. Like, I'm gonna use number 6. I understand they got Russell Westbrook, but they lost Contavious Caldwell-Pope, who to me was a really key factor in what they were doing. He was somebody that could spread the floor, shoot the three. That's what he's going to help Orlando do. So they added Russell Westbrook, but they also lost Reggie Jackson. Salute to Russell Westbrook. He's somebody who top 75, Hall of Famer. But right now, Reggie Jackson is more effective, especially for what Denver is trying to do. So adding Russell Westbrook doesn't mean nothing to me. They also lost their rookie. I believe it was, I don't see his name there, not Strawther, Watson, Saric. They lost, I think his name was Holmes. Yeah, so they lost that young boy for the year because he got injured during Summer League. But I think they got too many young guys that they're going to have to put in positions. Like, I notice here, you see the next best 5, they got Braun there. So would I have put in the Knicks over Denver? I would have. I would have put the Knicks over the Nuggets. But, salute to the Daily News nonetheless. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. I will interact and figure out, where we stand. I'm going to jump into some Dolan. Now, I'm going to give Dolan some props. I'm riding with Dolan. I don't care what you guys say. Salute them Dolan, James Dolan. Salute to the Dolan Foundation. Let me say this. We don't get Leon Rose without James Dolan signing off on it, right? We don't get Leon Rose without James Dolan doing this same experiment with Phil Jackson. So this is to all my Knicks fans. I'm not telling you to like Dolan or hate Dolan. I'm telling you that you have to respect what Dolan has decided to do because it's working right now. Dolan said before he had Phil, he was more involved in, decisions, feeding his opinion to the media, things of that nature. Now he took a back seat because he realized he didn't know as much about basketball as he really does. And he hired the guys who know about basketball to run the operation. That's all we want from Dolan. All this other stuff, to me personally, I don't really care about what his personal business is. He had some incidents with the fans and things of that nature. All of the fans that he had incidents with, they all back in the guard. So, love or hate Dolan, that's on you. I'm telling you that I'm riding with Dolan on this issue especially. So James Dolan won't support the NBA's budget, right? And here he goes on the stream right there. Now, one of the cruxes to his argument is that he feels the NBA, they're trying to turn it into the NFL model where you see in the NFL, small market teams can dominate the league, right? is the advantages the big markets would typically have in other sports, they kind of don't have it in football. Everything is shared, everything is split, right? There is no local TV deals. And that's what Dolan is arguing because we have MSG Network. First off, salute the MSG Network. By the way, let me just quick little sidebar. When we do the live play-by-plays on this channel, I don't do it when MSG is showing the games. Why? Because I love Will Clyde and Mike Breen and sometimes Wiley stepped in, sometimes Allen steps in, right? Even Monica McNutt stepped in. Sometimes there's another brother that they brought back last year to replace Mark Jackson. Anyway, bottom line is this. When those guys are on, I'm on MSG. I love watching the games on MSG. However, when the games are on national TV and they're not on MSG, we will do a live play-by-play because you already know those guys are going to diss us. And we ain't got no time to be dealing with that, right? We need a Knick perspective when we watching these games because MSG usually gives us the best Knick coverage. So NFL, you don't have that. You have the NFL Network. So Dolan feels that's what the NBA is trying to do with these whole things. This is why he won't support the operating budget. Let me see if I have a quote. So the quote is that Dolan says the reason why he denies it is because he says that it lacks transparency on both processes. So that's why his recent letter that he sent to the NBA governors, right? By the way, the league doesn't call them owners, even though we say owners, they're governors, right? And so that's what it is. So that's what this whole fight is about. For those who may not know what the Dolan thing is. If you want to read more, you can. This has a really good article on it. Definitely go check that out. I'm going to move a little fast, like I said. I do have another interesting article here talking about Jalen Brunson's floor. Now, I might do a poll tomorrow asking this question, right? So it's talking about floors and ceilings. It has Jalen Brunson and the other Knicks stars, which is pretty much Mikal Bridges and Randle as well. Now, they believe that, well, a lot of fans, I should say, believe that Mikal and Randle possibly can be all-stars, or at least one of them. Now, I just want to focus on, if you want, you guys can check this article out to see about Bridges and Randle. But I thought that this was a great question here. Like I said, I might do a poll on this. Look out for that in the community section because that's where we do our polls. But it says here that his ceiling, right? He basically steers the Barkers to a top 2 seed and himself into his franchise to the first MVP award since 1970. That's the last time we won an MVP award, y'all. Last season, he became awfully close to Brunson's best case scenario as the Knicks were second in seed. And he was a 5th place finisher in the MVP voting, right? So his ceiling off the rip, they're saying is he is an MVP, right? However, there still might be another level he and his team could reach. Chasing down the Celtics is asking a ton. I don't think it's a ton. I think that, we're right behind the Celtics. But if New York is closer to Boston than it is to the East number 3 seed, then it will still count as another step forward. That's a big fact. If Brunson makes that happen as a solo star, he could have the stats, the storyline, and the spotlight needed to become the first Knick counted as MVP in more than 50 years. So they're saying that his ceiling is MVP. Now check out the floor. The floor is that Brunson is good, so are the Knicks, but neither is close to great. So basically the Knicks is just a good team. They won't be great, and same thing with Brunson. So this is what Bleacher Report believes. Barring a major injury, Brunson isn't at risk of major backtracking, but sustaining his production from last season isn't a given, which possibly could be the reason why he took that money. What if now, of course, we're not putting this out there. We don't want this to happen, right? Salute to JB, right? Captain 11, as I call him, right? Channel, right? We want him to have the best season, right? We want him to do the best that he can. But what if he doesn't do it? What if he has a major setback? What if his health is not there, right? So they're saying that's pretty much his floor. He's still a good player, but he's not an MVP candidate, right? He's an all-star, things of that nature, but he's not an MVP candidate. That's his floor. Maybe a 1 or 2-time all-star. That's it. I have a question for you, and I'm going to answer it. And this might be a poll. Is Jalen Brunson closer to this floor, which is he's good, but he's not great? Or is he closer to his ceiling, right? Or is his floor his ceiling, right? Does he have the capability of reaching the ceiling, which is the MVP award? Now, I'm gonna say winning a championship. Forget the MVP award. Us as Knicks fans, we want to win a championship because we know with the MVP award, Luka, right? They had the sexier numbers. They have more of the expectation to win, right? And I'm talking about those awards because of stats and things of that nature. So my question is Jalen Brunson's floor what it is now, or is it closer to what they're saying his ceiling? Can he lead us basically to a championship? Let me know what you guys think. How do you feel about this ceiling and floor comparison from Bleacher Report? I do want to talk a little about Melo. If you guys didn't see the Melo podcast, this is the older story, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I do want to add my 2 cents, though. Carmelo Anthony reveals why he didn't sign the contract, right? Basically, they wanted him to be a 15th man on the team, right? Now, this is the team that first signed Brunson, right? And we know what they were able to do that first year, making it to the second round. Now, I did do a poll on this, and I might get to it in Word on the Street a little later. Matter of fact, I'll get to it now because I probably won't even get to it during Word on the Street. So here it goes right here, y'all. Carmelo Anthony recently discussed his decision to pass on the opportunity for a potential last dance with the Knicks during the 22-23 season, right? And he basically dismissed the offer for a bench warmer role. Do you believe Melo deserves to be in the rotation, right? So I'm going to say I don't know. 62% say of the 183 votes say yes, he deserved to be in the rotation. Now, a lot of us are saying that because we know Randle got hurt and we know that eventually they made the trade for Josh Hart. Starting the season, the Evan Fournier, Cam Reddish experiment did not work. You had R.J. Barrett there, and man, you quickly off the bench. Before you made the trade for Josh Hart, you didn't have that other wing that you trusted in the system. You also had Quentin Grimes, who was solid but shaky at times. I do honestly believe in my heart, mind, body, and soul that Carmelo Anthony definitely would have been a great addition to the team. And I think he would eventually have gotten a role. Is to say that he deserved a role in the rotation is tough because of what the Knicks were doing and what the Knicks did accomplish. Yes, Melo had solid numbers when he played for the Lakers, which he pointed out. But at the same time, his style of play might have clashed a little bit. But I do think that if he would have took a lesser role at the time, possibly they would have put him in the rotation, especially when injuries. But it's a shame to me that Melo didn't get a chance to, play that last year. Some people say he doesn't deserve a farewell tour, but I say, listen, if you know you're going to retire, a lot of guys retire because their bodies can't physically take it, right? This man retired because no one gave him a shot. And I felt like the place that had a hard time getting stars of his caliber should have gave him the grace to come. I understand you can't have guys bullying their way into rotations, but at the same time, they should have worked something out with this brother. So I'm gonna jump into the whole Mikal Bridges roommates podcast, but not just Mikal Bridges. I'm gonna jump into the live pod. Now, look, guys, I got something cool I want to show you. So yeah, I got something cool I want to show you guys, man. So this is my X notification panel. Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal on here. By the way, if you want to get at me, I'm right here. Hold on. I'm gonna pull it up in a second. So I just want to show you guys a post at the Roommates Podcast. They replied to a post that I put up because I commented that I really wanted to go to the show, but I couldn't go to the show. So I put up there that I wish I could be there, but it was my son's birthday. So Roommates Podcast replied, "Happy birthday to your son." And I thought that that was cool. Salute to the Roommate Cast, whoever runs this account. I really do appreciate it. They gave my son a shout out for his birthday. Now, I also want to show you Matt Hillman, like one of my comments too, who is the co-host on that show. If I could find the quote right here. Basically, there was an article talking about Matt Hillman and his as the host of the show. So I put this nice comment up describing him. I said this to Matt. Matt, you're more than just a guy. From my perspective, you're an Ernie Johnson. You're in an Ernie Johnson-like role, keeping the guys in line and asking questions to the guests the fans would like to hear. Salute to you, family, but you're more than just the other guy on the show. And Matt, he liked this. So salute to Matt for liking the comment, as you can see here. Give a big salute to that brother. Doing a good job, this podcast. Listen, guys, I would love to be on there, helping these guys host that pod. I think that you already know I'm coming with the fire and the flames, right? I'm definitely coming with that New York energy, right? And I'm a little older than these guys, so I can talk about a lot of these things from a different perspective, right? But this is my Twitter account, guys. Definitely get on there. I'm popping, right? TOF on fire. I don't just talk about the Knicks. I talk about other stuff too. Like I got the Liberties up here. Of course, I retweet all of this Roommates podcast. And this is the little Randle stuff, right? Yeah, we're going to get into Randle in a second. But I just wanted to show this, guys. Now, I'm going to start this off with Mikal Bridges. Now, salute to you guys if you actually went to the live pod. If you went to the live pod, let me know in the comments below. I'm curious to see exactly what your experience was like. But there's a couple of things I want to talk about. Mikal Bridges, he was there, right? They were getting lit. It looked turned up. Everybody who I seen went there because I was watching a lot of footage and people posting clips and things of that nature. They definitely had a lot of good things. But here's Mikal Bridges' statement. He said, after missing the playoffs for the first time in 4 years, he said that he has the itch to get on the court with his new psycho teammates. Long off season. I got the itch now. Definitely a long off season. By the way, I love summertime, y'all, but I just can't wait. I can't wait for the season to start, y'all. By the way, join the Discord server, www. I'm sorry, I butchered that. www.theobjectiveknicksfan.com. It's mad late, and I'm going on like very few hours of sleep, so forgive me, messing things up. But you can go to that website, join to Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. We have a free Knick hat giveaway. Scan the barcode that's on the screen. Definitely find out more information. 24/7 Knicks chat, 24/7 NBA chat. Definitely get up in there. But we definitely have the itch, right? Bridges, who hasn't played since mid-April, said Saturday to a horde of Knicks fans in Central Park, I'm ready right now. I'm active. It's been too long. So salute to Mikal Bridges getting hyped. A couple of other quotes I got here. I got Jon Stewart from The Daily Show, right? He mentioned Knicks owner James Dolan. He did booze from the crowd, right? However, because every time Dolan comes up, the fans ain't right. But Josh Hart, right, who actually finished a bottle of wine during the show, he says, so you already know Josh Hart is on one if he finished a bottle of wine at the show. That's crazy. He says, hell nah, right? Supporting Josh Dolan, right? He told the fans, we back, baby, we good, right? And Stewart echoed the sentiment. He said, what do they always add in the front of Knicks fans? So he also said, long suffering. Suffering no more, my friends. We are filled with admiration. So salute to those guys, man. Pulling down Dolan, right? Josh Hart finished the whole bottle. That's crazy. And of course, you already know when a whole crowd of Knicks fans get together, it's going to be serenades of FNB. And I'm not going to curse because YouTube algorithms. But that's all from the pod that I got. Let me know whatever stories you got from the pod. I'm curious to know if you got clips and things of that nature. I want to check it out. But I will be at the next live pod, especially if it's in New York. So I look forward to that. Now I'm going to jump in the flagship. You guys have been waiting long enough, right? You guys have been waiting long enough. So a couple of things with Julius. I'm going to start with a couple of things. A salute to Julius Randle. I don't understand why people feel Julius Randle is disgruntled. Oh, by the way, I hope this guy's watching the video. In my community section on older video, this video right here. By the way, this pod is taking off. I'm not sure why, but this pod really is taking off. There's a guy that put a comment here. I'm going to reply to your comments. And I'm going to start doing this more in the live shows, right? See if I can pull up this guy's comment, right? Now, of course, I get some crazy comments. Salute to the Knicks family that put the crazy comments. A lot of it be trolls and haters, too. Because you already know we got a lot of people who don't like the Knicks, right? Let me see if I can find this comment right here. This man right here, James Cooper. I hope you're watching this video. Divisiveness is what you're all about. In order to give JB his flowers, it can't be done without stepping on Julius Randle. Grow up and love your entire period. First off, you guys got to learn how to write proper English. Sometimes I type fast and I make grammatical errors, but this is pretty bad, bro. You leaving out words out there. Come on, bro. Right? Now, clearly he didn't watch the video. Because if you watch this pod in its entirety, I know it's long. It's 2 hours and 28 minutes, right? I know it's long, but at the same time, let me see if I can get back to, yeah. Okay. So I know it's a long time, but at the same time, you're commenting on videos and you're not watching what is being said in the video, right? So just to briefly respond to this guy right here, right? And you know what? I should keep the comment on this, right? To briefly respond to this guy. If you go on my channel, right, you would see I show Julius Randle a lot of love because I feel like he gets a lot of hate. In fact, what I'm going to do off the rip, I'm going to jump the gun, right? And since I'm on my Twitter, TOF on fire, make sure you go follow it. This is what I said. This is just response to his comment. Listen, Knicks Nation, can we please stop with the Julius Randle conspiracy? All of the jersey stuff and the cryptic stuff is a dead end. You don't even know what it means. Randle will be a Knick until he's not. I'm tired of seeing people caught up in the whirlwind of misinformation, right? That's me taking up for Randle. Why are we taking a crap on his name? That's my Twitter account. I put that up there about Randle. Cass was going in on Randle, right? I also commented on Nick Muse, right? Let me see if I have it here. I said I was looking at, but that was one of my pro Randle tweets, just to show. Okay, here's another pro Randle tweet. The trade proposals are getting more and more ridiculous. The team with the only All-NBA player in the trade is being asked to give up 2 protected first-round picks. Can we please put a stop to these Randle trades? They're just plain laughable. So if I'm someone who didn't like Randle and wants to put Randle down, why am I putting stuff up like this? Listen, guys, I am the objective Knicks fan. While we're here, this trade is trash. This trade request is trash. How is Julius Randle the only All-Star, All-NBA player, and the Knicks have to give up 2 protected first-round picks? Make that make sense, guys. Just off the rip, you're giving up Julius Randle. These picks right here should come from the Hornets. Nick Richards is not an All-Star. Grant Williams is not an All-Star. Can Nick Richards be an All-Star? Maybe. I don't know. He's very young. But Grant Williams is not an All-Star. What are we talking about? These trade proposals are crazy. Let me see. You know, these guys grind my gears. They want to talk about Randle. Look at this. If I can go back and show you the thumbnail on this video, right? Why the Knicks will have 3 All-Stars. Randle's including in that. How am I putting Randle down? The video was about Julius Randle not being an All-Star, but Lance Thomas and Courtney Lee can be All-Stars. To me, that's just crazy to me. Doesn't make any sense. I understand that Jalen Brunson's situation is different because the management asked Brunson to be All-Star, right? But I just want to say this. I just want to, because they're talking about Julius Randle's trade value, right? So according to Fred Katz, right, and I believe this is what this article is quoting, right? It says here that one anonymous member of a rival front office says that the Randle's value to opposing teams is neutral at best. Neutral at best, right? Randle contract is fair. He makes $28.9 million. He could become a free agent next season, unrestricted. But the fear having to pay him the fear is having to pay him, especially when his skill set makes him such a specific fit, which makes it difficult to find suitors who's willing to give up any package that would be worth it for the Knicks. Let me say this. If Julius Randle, if he balls out the way I think that he will ball out, they're going to look at that 181 and wish that he signed for that. That Knicks is included when I say that, right? As reported earlier, this is also Fred Katz. There's no indication that the Knicks is trying to trade Randle, which means it can be difficult to gauge his value in the market. Right now, the Knicks are not looking to trade Randle. So I'm tired of seeing these rumors. We already stomped on that Bleacher Report one. That was a ridiculous offer, right? So then I have another quote from Brian Windhorst. Salute to these guys, right? No knocking these guys, but very conflicting. Knicks Julius Randle, extraordinarily tradable with $29 million salary. Because of that $29 million salary, he's extraordinarily tradable. The Knicks still do have a couple of first-round picks they can move. So his value, if he's 100% more than that, there's no reason why, if he's playing at the top of his game, why he shouldn't seriously consider opting out of that. And they're talking about the $31 million. So on one end, his contract is neutral. Next end is it's extraordinarily tradable. Let me add to why it also would be extraordinarily tradable. You have a lot of teams trying to free up money, and especially second apron teams. So you can't, trade when you're a second apron team for aggregates, meaning that 3 players for 2, it has to be the player count also has to be even, and the salary number has to be even within, I think, 110%. So, with that said, if you have a team that has like a Gordon Hayward-like contract, you could trade that for Randle, throw in 2 other players to match salary, right? So that's why he's saying the contract is tradable. I don't want to hear about Julius Randle trades, y'all, right? Don't want to hear about Julius Randle trades. Let me say this too. At first, I wasn't following the players like that because I'm the objective. But I do follow players. Julius Randle was everywhere. Empire State, Yankees games, everywhere. He loves New York. Where is this narrative that he doesn't like New York coming from, guys? It's 2 a.m. right now. I'm turned up right now. Y'all listen to me. We have to knock it off with the trade Randles and the rumors of the Randle trade. We have to stop. We really have to stop. Because it's a lot of confliction, and that's why I'm showing you these 2 different articles. Now, look, I already told you on my X, and I'll put it back up there, right, after this. I'm going to put it back up there. I just want you guys to look at this. Now, before I continue, I do want to give a big salute to Big Knicks Energy, because Big Knicks Energy is kind of the source of this to a degree. He put this up there on his page. Let's see if it's still up here. Okay, so NBA Central posted this, and I think Big Knicks Energy retweeted this, right? But it says, look like Julius Randle is sending a cryptic message to the Knicks. That's why I did the thumbnail, made this a flagship topic. Now, I know a lot of us in Knick Twitter land, we got past this, but I still want to talk about it because I didn't get a chance to do my take on it. Now, they tried to make this seem as though this is coming from Julius Randle, right? And they put, there's no Julius Randle jerseys for sale in Madison Square Garden, right? That's what they tried to say. And then this little story that Randle did, which is also featured on the thumbnail of this video, was posted as the truth shall come to light, as if he's upset and bothered. First off, how are these 2 messages connected? This is how you feel about, this is how y'all feel at Knicks, right? This is how y'all feel, right? Okay? And they try to tag like it's Randle, like this is the brunt of his message, right? How does that connect to this? The truth shall come to light. Clearly, this message is talking about, like, why would that message be the follow-up to this? Like, if you say the truth is coming to light, that means that there's something that I want you to know. How does something that I want you to know, or something that has to be known, is this? When this, hold on, let me see if this article has it. This is not even the truth. Hold on, let me see if I got it right here. Hold on. Nick Muse. First off, big salute to Nick Muse and Nick Energy. Because Big Nick Energy apologized for posting it. Because that was not real news. So I want to give a big shout. I wrote a nice post on his apology post because Big Nick Energy did apologize for this. But this is the photograph taken today. Julius Randle jerseys are available in the store right next to Brunson. All cap. Then they brought this up. More cap. Nick Muse doing the research. Salute to Nick Muse again. Julius Randle unfollowed the Knicks. He unfollowed the Knicks 3 years ago. So he hasn't been fight. So he didn't recently unfollow, but they try to make it as if it just happened. This is why be careful when you're listening to even new media. Guys are not really trained in journalism and they're running with nonsense. I come with sources. That's why you see I'm in research mode. I don't deal with the blog website. I don't. I deal with Bleacher. That's the most bloggy I'll get is Bleacher Report. And when they putting up these crazy screenshots, that's the most thing. I mean, these crazy articles talking about these rumors. But outside of that, I stay away from that. But look, all of this was debunked. There is no cryptic message. Even Julius Randle's wife weighed in on it. Let me go to her page. Salute to Julius Randle's wife, Kendra Randle, because she even weighed in on it. Right here, the post was deleted by Big Nick Energy, by the way. And basically, she was laughing. The post is gone because Big Nick Energy, he apologized, like I said. But she laughed at it. His wife laughed at the post, y'all. So salute to Kendra Randle. Definitely follow her. So follow Julius Randle. And so you can actually see what's going on. Don't just take people's word for things, right? So he did not shade the Knicks. I'm going to add something too. I want to add something. This brother right here going to be a Knick. Now, will he be traded before the deadline? I don't know. I doubt it. Like, the only way a Randle trade before the deadline would make sense is if All-NBA caliber player asks for a trade. Then, depending on what position it is, I'm just going to say this. Ain't too many big guys I'm trading for Randle. To me, he's the most pure power forward in basketball. Some people might say, oh, I do trade him for Zion, right? Oh, I'll trade him for Paolo. But Paolo is still on the rookie scale contract. But all I'm saying is it doesn't make sense to trade him. Let me see if I get that trade back on the screen right quick. This trade right here just doesn't make sense, y'all. Like, this trade doesn't make sense. So that's the number one reason for me why I don't see Randle getting traded, because there's no trade that makes sense. His contract is very tradable according to Brian Windhorst. I'm riding with Brian Windhorst. That one GM who said what he said, salute to Fred Katz and his reporting, that doesn't make it right. That's one man's opinion. There's another screenshot. I don't have it because they didn't get it to it here. But Kristaps Porzingis posted something similar to this, right? This whole truth shall come to light thing. I don't know. I don't know what it could be. All I know is not that Randle wants to trade. This nonsense is asinine. Randle wants out. Randle's disgruntled. He's unfollowing the team. All this craziness that was on social media. I'm asking Knick Nation, Knick World, Knick everybody, Knick family to stop it. I'm going to jump in the word on the street now. Anything you guys want to add, feel free to add. We talked about the Melo. This is an interesting one. 12 days ago, which represents the most realistic outcome for the next season. Is it 55-plus wins, advancing beyond the second round, 2 Knicks All-Stars? These are the expectations, by the way, I did in Level-Headed Knicks Talk. This was the first part to that video, so definitely go watch Level-Headed Knicks Talk. I'm going to say the most realistic thing to me, I'm going to say advancing beyond the second round, because that's the most important thing to me. And see how out of the 56 votes, 44% of fans agree that 44% say 55-plus win, 44% say advancing beyond the second round, and only 11% say 2 Knicks All-Stars. Whose site just released the top 30 centers. I talked about this with my dad. By the way, go watch that show I did with my dad. This was last week. Salute them up, Pops. He goes by the OG Knick fan, right? The OG Knick fan. Definitely check me and the OG Knick fan out. This was last week. Was it last year? This was last week's replacement episode for the pod. So definitely go check that out. Hoops Hype, they released the top 30 centers, and Mitchell Robinson wasn't named on the list. All right. Should he be listed in the top 30? I'm going to say yes. 82% of Knicks fans, 221 votes, they agree that Mitchell Robinson should be listed there. Julius Randle was also ranked the 7th best power forward on Hoops Hype's top 30 list. Should he have been ranked higher? I got him as number 2. Only 11% of Knicks fans, we got 330 votes, still agree with me. However, 63% do say that he is top 5 on the list. So I can ride with that too. 24% say no, he's right where he belongs. And only 3% say he should be lower. Now, these 3% is who that James Cooper guy should. These guys don't like Randle. These guys are underrating Randle. Not me. I'm riding with Randle. If the Knicks were to make it to finals, which team in the West would be the most formidable challenge? This came up actually on the last level-headed Knicks Talk video. I'm going to say Dallas. 232 Knicks fans voted. 19% say Dallas. 16% say Minnesota. 63% really believe in OKC. I'm going to ask you guys a question. Please let me know in the comments as well if you're watching this pod. Why do you fear OKC? I don't fear those guys. Why do you fear those guys? Please let me know. Also, I dropped this one today. Attention Knicks fans, being that we're on the topic. How many of you feel for the Julius Randle? Well, how many of you fell for the Julius Randle? I have a problem with the team conspiracy over the weekend. Keep it real. Did you hand raise? I did. No, I always thought it was cap. 5% really thought that of the 63 votes. Of course, I just posted this recently. They believe that Julius Randle had a problem with the team. Me, I said that I always thought it was cap. 76% of fans agree. 19% say they don't know. Well, that's why I did this word on the street. That's why I did this episode, to enlighten you that it's not real. There's no smoke. There's no problems there. You know what? Let me add to the Randle thing real quickly. You got to understand that James Dolan loves Julius Randle. The reason why James Dolan loves Julius Randle is because Julius Randle loves New York, signed with New York, and gave New York the first hometown discount out of this new regime. Was it as much as Brunson's hometown discount? It wasn't. But you got to remember, Randle did that. Another thing, too, he's CAA Mafia, like Coach would say. Salute the coach. Julius Randle is CAA Mafia, right? So, big salute to the Mafia. Big salute to the Mafia. Big salute to the Mafia. So, Julius Randle, his agent, he loves New York. His wife clearly loves New York. She laughed at the stuff on Twitter. Follow Kendra Randle. So, yeah, we got to knock it off. There's no trouble in paradise. And if there was trouble in paradise, you wouldn't even know about it. Let me see if I could go really quickly and hit some of these other topics. RJ Barrett says that we gave the Suns something to cheer for. What do you think? Are you riding with RJ Barrett? I might do a poll on the RJ Barrett. But are you riding with him? I'm going to say, yeah, I think RJ Barrett was the beginning of the change in the tide. Even though he won't be here to see us through our championship glory, I will say, starting with drafting him as the first Knicks pick in a while that didn't get booed at the draft. Knicks fans was on board with this kid from the beginning. And I think that it wasn't RJ's fault as to who he is as a player. I do think that the Knicks needed a Jalen Brunson caliber talent, and they tried to make RJ that. He just wasn't that. However, he was a key piece, and you cannot forget what he did in the playoffs to help us against Cleveland, especially. So definitely a salute to RJ Barrett. I think that what he said has a lot of merit. Enjoy working with the Knicks. Rookie Tyler Kolek, he helped push the trainer. Salute to Tyler Kolek, and the trainer with his drug addiction, right? Coriolis said started training Kolek, and the point guard's underdog rise to the NCAA stardom helped further push the dark times out of focus, right? So he helped Tyler, who was a 0-star recruit. That's crazy, right? Yo, salute to these guys working hard to get to the next level. Do you know what that means? I built this channel. Salute to Still Knicks fans, salute to Nick Deli. Those are the two channels that I ride with. But I didn't have no cosigns or nobody put me on. I just built this channel up, straight content, talking that Knick talk, the way I do on TikTok, the way I do on Instagram. I don't follow people for follows, right? I don't do none of that. How I build my channel is talking this Knick talk, putting out quality content. People rock with what I got to say. People can see the talent when it's there. So Tyler Kolek working his way from the ground up. That's what I'm doing with this channel, man. Salute to Tyler Kolek for that. Right? Helping his trainer with his drug issues. I'm gonna move forward. See what else I got here. Just moving quickly. Now, here's an interesting article, guys. This is showing the teams with the most continuity, basically the same players consistently for over a period of time, right? Look at this. Share of 3-year minutes returning, 75%. Share of 3-year WRAR returning, 94.4%. So what they're trying to say here is weighted by recency, right? And wins above replacement. That's what WAR stands for, right? So Houston Rockets have the second most WAR, right? So, but they also consider the team with the most continuity. If you have ESPN Plus, you can read this, I believe. Or is this a regular? No, this is a regular ESPN article. You don't even need Plus. Go check this out. However, the only thing that has me concerned with this list, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna scroll all the way down. Notice how the Knicks is not on the list, at least in the teams that stand out in terms of most release. However, the Knicks are tied for 19th on the list, right? And here's the one thing I'm gonna say that alarms me a little bit. Now, some of these teams are not the greatest teams. However, most of these teams are playoff teams. The Rockets, I don't know if they're gonna be a playoff team, but of course they rank number 1. But who's number 2? And you're talking about continuity, bringing back the most playing time in production. Magics, Celtics, Thunder, Lakers, I don't care about. Cavaliers, Sacktown is where I lay my Mac down. Miami Heat, Indiana Pacers. So the top 9 teams, except for the Rockets, they all are playoff teams. How much do the continuity and bringing back players with the most playing time in production, keeping those core guys together, how much does that value? Does that worry you guys? It's a little concerning, but I do think that there are some teams down here like this Philadelphia 76ers, who I got as a 3rd seed. Phoenix Suns will be all right, but I don't got them winning the championship. However, the Dallas Mavericks, we're right behind them. They went to the finals. So I don't think that is an exact science, but it's kind of interesting that a lot of the top playoff teams, fit the mold, especially in the top. So let me know what your thoughts about that in the comments. Talked about Evan Fournier, and this is one hole that the teams must fix. This is an ESPN Plus article. So this is talking about something that we need, and of course, that's all for this pod, man. Thank you for rocking with me to the end, man. You guys deserve a round of applause. You guys are the real MVPs. I'm gonna edit this down. Hopefully, it stays within that 50-minute mark. So, like I said, once again, level-headed Knicks talk will be Thursday afternoon. Be on the lookout. If I keep it Wednesday, I don't want to do 2 back-to-back shows, but if I do, you guys will know. You guys will get the notifications. Definitely join that Knicks Tape Madness Discord. Link is in the description. Or you could go to www.theobjectiveknicksfan.com to go check that out. Look for more updates. I got some interesting things I'm going to announce. I am working on that Carmelo Anthony show. I want to talk about Melo's time as a Knick. Working on that, putting together the panel. But that's all for this pod, man. So until next time, y'all, let's go. Man.